Hey babe, we just got a comment from one of our subscribers. I think it will be perfect for a he said, she said.
Oh, you mean that new segment we're going to do where I kind of give my opinion and then you give your opinion separately?
Yes,
Awesome, let's try it.
let's go.
My friend Sam is a 45-year-old, never married Asian immigrant who's a U.S. citizen working for $15 an hour minimum wage at 7-Eleven. So he's not the typical American that comes to Manila. His girlfriend in Manila is 20 years old and earns 10K pesos a month. Now here's the dilemma. Over 50% of marriages in Asian community also end in divorce once the spouse gets their visa. Hawaii and Las Vegas are filled with divorced Filipinas barely 4 years into marriage. What typically happens is that the wife gets brainwashed by other divorced Filipinas that she is still young and can out-earn him even at Walmart, even if the guy is a homeowner. So if she divorces him, she'll get 50% of his assets, and that's over 100K or 5 million pesos. Not to mention the wife always finds richer, younger options in America than the older husband working in a 7-Eleven. My buddy owns several properties and he has no plans to risk his assets inside America or to return to cold Michigan winters. I don't blame him there. If he retires today, he can easily get $1,000 a month from his rentals and live comfortably in the Philippines, building a family with a housewife and 4+ children. Those are luxuries in America. Now, he has no problem paying his future wife a 10K peso a month salary that she would have earned at a job just to stay home. But he refuses to bring her to America. So let's first recap what this scenario tells us. A 45-year-old man living very modest existence with a minimum wage job in the U.S. He's in a relationship with a 20-year-old Filipina who lives in Manila, where it seems as if he's been to visit at least once, maybe. I can't say for sure. Now, first and foremost, I want to maybe push back on the 1K per month budget, taking care of a family of 4+. Yes, it can be done, but is that the life Sam wants to live? Maybe something goes wrong in the U.S. with his rentals that costs a lot of money or requires him returning to deal with it in person. Don't get me wrong, $1,000 a month can go a decent ways here, but it's a very basic lifestyle. And while beautiful life for some, not necessarily acceptable to others. Now, I want to make this distinction here so that people understand budget and lifestyle are personally dictated and not a universal standard. So please don't try and say, oh, I could never live there for 2K or oh, I could live there for 600. Depends on what you want and the lifestyle that you want to live. The 50% divorce rate is a universal truth, regardless of the demographics involved. And it's absolutely true that a Filipina can connect with other Filipina and start to have their minds filled with a variety of thoughts. You can make better, you can find better, and of course, they are likely to get more attention from the opposite sex. This can all add to the possibility of being unhappy in her choices and open to new opportunities. Is there an added risk because of the allure of Western culture? Sure. What percentage is unknown, but let's estimate 20%. Now we're at a 70% chance of divorce. Now add the 25-year age gap and the fact that she's 20. Now, while I'll be the first to admit that Filipinas do seem to mature at a faster rate than, say, Western women, they still don't have the maturity or experience of a 45-year-old. Certainly that adds another risk factor to the divorce chance. But there's one thing being overlooked here, a prenup agreement. Plain and simple, if I were in this situation and we both felt we needed her to come to the U.S., then the prenup would be a very clear option that all assets that were accrued before the marriage would remain with those who brought them in. And quite frankly, in the case of a divorce, only a promise of a ticket back to the Philippines and perhaps a modest amount to get back on her feet, plus half of whatever wealth you and her built together. The thing with Sam is that in the U.S., he has little to nothing to offer a partner outside of being a good companion. We would all like to think that's enough, but let's face it, it's not. He works his job and has made some good decisions to have some properties. With not much of a bright future for promotion or raising his career profile at 7-Eleven, he must be very careful with risking what he has worked hard for. If she comes alongside him and they purchase another property or achieve things together, then by all means, she is entitled to half of what she contributed to. Ideally, Sam should consider his options. If he has income from properties and perhaps can come up with a way to make an income remotely for the next 20 or so years, then he'd be better served to move to the Philippines because the cost of living is nearly half or more of the US. He can build a life here that is more attractive to a mate than he can back in the States. Hopefully he has watched our scam-proof video, as the concept of building his own beautiful life here and attracting a quality Filipina to share it with, it's vital to his success. Does that mean he cannot succeed in bringing his girl to the States and then working together to build a life together? Of course not. I'm sure it happens, and it just takes the right Filipina. But I would say that in order to find that woman and build the relationship and trust you would need and require, then you would have to spend time with them here in the Philippines. Date them, live with them, get to truly know one another. To expect a 20-year-old Filipina to come to the US, to leave her family behind and move in with a relative stranger and suddenly be filled with devotion and love to last a lifetime when there will be so many temptations, let alone the fact that now she is the exotic option being eyed by many suitors, well, I think you would agree that the risk is pretty high. So if a man can be firm in the boundaries he sets and require a prenup, then why not? If he simply cannot see a way to retire at 45 and cannot wait or accept once or twice a year visits to his girl, then go for it. But just know that a prenup doesn't reduce the chance of a divorce, it just safeguards your assets in the event of failure. Otherwise, the ideal is to retire in the Philippines, effectively and greatly increasing your value to your mate. Build a good life around yourself and share it with a good partner. Now let's see what Kath's take on this situation is.
Hi everyone, this is me again, Kath, and today I'm going to share my thoughts on one of the comments that our viewers left in one of our videos. But before that, I would like to start this by thanking you all for continuously supporting our channel. And we do hope that we are able to bring something helpful that makes your time spent with us worthwhile. And if you're new into our channel, if you just find out about us, please do like, comment, or subscribe. To my understanding, one of the reasons why Sam is hesitant or would not want to bring his girlfriend or his future wife to the US is because of fear. And if you ask me, fear of what? First, for me, is the fear of risking or losing his assets or anything that he has worked hard for in order to support himself, support a family, and make sure that he is providing them a safe and comfortable home. Second, it's a fear of rejection, being used or being taken advantage of. Having said that, I totally understand why some Westerners will feel that way. I may not have the first hand experience when it comes to this, but I sure have heard a lot of stories where men end up being broke or of lesser financial value after a failed relationship, which leads to divorce. Or in some cases, there are Western men who get scammed by Filipinas by making them believe in false promises in order to achieve continuous financial gain. And for me, it is a sad thing because it's unfair and very inaccurate to generalize Filipino women, especially the good ones, to be stereotyped and for them to deal with the stigma of being associated as gold diggers, especially when they're dating men of higher age gap or someone older than them. Now, I think for me, the best thing for Sam to do is to be as transparent as he can be towards what he intended to do in a relationship or what does he expect from his Filipina in a relationship. I believe that he should be entitled to do what he thinks is right, what he feels is right, or to exercise what he thinks will work best for him, but so does she. Just remember that entering into a marriage is like signing yourself up into a contract. And In order for it to be valid, both parties must agree to terms and agreement into a contract. And a failure to do so, well, we all know what is most likely to happen. The contract is bound to fail. And what I'm trying to imply here is he should be honest with her, what he is willing to compromise, what he is willing to offer in a relationship, and even to the point of telling her that he's not willing to bring her to the US because of this and because of that. And then see what she has to say about it. She might take it positively or she might take it negatively. And in fact, she might even say that, I'm okay. I don't really want to go somewhere. I don't really want to go to the US. I'm fine being here. But, little did you know, she might be working her way out behind your back. She might be talking to someone whom she think will be able to give those things to her while keeping you on the side. So my advice is don't go all in without learning the person. Always test the waters. Just like when you're buying a car, you test drive it. But then again, anything that you'd like to do in a relationship, you should always be transparent with her. Let her know. Remember, honesty always pays off. Now, is she going to divorce you because she's being influenced by her friends, the internet, or her surroundings? Is she going to replace you with someone younger, better looking, or richer? For me, the answer is it depends on what motivated her to have a relationship with you in the beginning. If the greater part of it is anything monetary or lifestyle change, luxury, then most likely the answer will be yes. But if a woman chose you because she recognized that you're a good person, that you're a person with integrity, that you respect her, that you value the relationship and her, that you make her feel special and you're loving towards her, then I believe that there's no amount of money that can sway her away from you. Because for me, these are the traits that are way more important than any amount of money can offer. Accurate and unfair to stereotype. Babe, stop.
Start it again.
Oh, forget about it. And and that would be, and I hope money can offer. That's and nothing.